Howdy folks, I'm Ornery Oak, outrageously ousting ostentatious oats.
I'm Amber.
And here are more ostentatious oats for us to oust. And you know why we're doing it? Because we can. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Walking Out of My Friend's Birthday Party After She Pulled a Humiliating Prank on Me? In a nutshell, my friend humiliated me with a public prank at her club party, and I walked out. Now my friends are saying that I overreacted. Some context. I'm a 28-year-old female, and I attended my friend, a 32-year-old female's big birthday party at a club. We've been friends for years. And while I'm single, they often joke about it. It's usually harmless, but it gets old. This party was massive. VIP tables, DJs, lights, and tons of people. Everyone was having a fun time, including me, until the prank. The incident. Halfway through the night, my friend stops the music, grabs the mic, and announces that she has a special surprise for me. The DJ turns the spotlight on me, and then out comes this guy dressed in a cheesy stripper outfit, fake cop uniform, ridiculous dance move, holding a bouquet. She shouted, "Maybe this will finally get you a man," and the whole room erupted in laughter, and people were recording it. I was completely humiliated, so I just grabbed my stuff, and then I left the club. As soon as I left, my phone starts blowing up with messages from friends saying that I overreacted and calling it a fun joke and accusing me of ruining the party by leaving. Now they're expecting me to apologize, but honestly, I feel like I was put on the spot and humiliated in front of everyone. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
No, not the jerk. The entire purpose was to humiliate you. That's not a fun joke. Like, if it's supposed to be a joke, it should be something that you're going to find funny as well. They're just picking at your insecurities. It doesn't even sound like they're very good friends. It sounds like this has been a long time insecurity of OP's, and they just won't let up.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I have a problem with here, too. It really seems like they're just kind of picking at something that OP has an insecurity about. Like, this could have been a fun joke if everyone was in on it, or if OP actually wasn't sensitive about this. But again, like when you pull a joke, you have to make sure that whoever you're pulling the joke on, it's not something that they're sensitive about, right? Like, you can't make fun of someone's intelligence if they're sensitive about their intelligence, right?
Right, and how many of these people, if they were single, would want to be put on the spot, with like the entire club focused on them and have this pulled while people are recording?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't get control over this in the moment. You didn't get control over your image. I can understand why OP would be hurt and upset over this whole thing.
Yeah, I can too. I mean, I think that that's probably a pretty upsetting situation for her. I just can understand why she would be mad at her friend for this and then get up and walk out, because she, at that point in time, was the butt end of the joke. She wasn't laughing with everyone, right?
Right. And so unless, this friend and everyone who thinks OP is in the wrong are willing to admit they've done something wrong, apologize sincerely, and work to make amends, I'd say find a new group of friends.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And ABM 1208881 says, "Some nice friends you got there." And Illustrious Oil 8767 says, "Not friends, bullies." And Acceptable Wind 7332 says, "Pranks are only pranks when all parties find it funny in the end. If you don't find it to be funny, then it's bullying." And Flow Baby 1 says, "I don't see the humor in it at all. I do see a bully and her posse, not the jerk." And OK Meringue 6107 says, "I also don't see how a stripper giving her a bouquet and a dance is going to get her a man. OP, not the jerk, but your friends sure are." I mean, that's a good question, is like, what was the friend thinking here by having the stripper give her a bouquet?
It was just to humiliate her. Like, it's very clearly not going to solve her issue. Not that it's even clear that OP wants a boyfriend or not. But if that's something she wants, then the friend could have set up a blind date, but not in public. This was clearly just a stunt to get laughs.
Yeah, exactly.
At OP's expense.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for refusing to hang up the artwork that my girlfriend got me for my birthday?" I'm a 26-year-old male, and my birthday was a few weeks ago. And my girlfriend, a 24-year-old, and her friends are into things that I find a little outlandish and weird. I love her and her uniqueness, and I appreciate what she does, but I do think some of their habits and interests are a little unusual. We do not live together. She's made comments about how I need more artwork, and I agreed. She got me some artwork, a homemade piece of artwork that she was given the idea through a TikTok or something. Her best friend also did the same thing for her boyfriend. The best that I can describe it as is that she made a print of her butt and legs and thighs on a canvas. It's like she sat in paint and then sat on a canvas or something like that. Honestly, it turned out really well because you can clearly see that it's a butt and legs. The problem arose just recently because she came over and found the painting in my closet. She asked why it's not up, and I tried to dance around it. I did tell her the truth that my parents stop by sometimes and I didn't want them to see it. She started telling me that the picture is beautiful and that I should want to embrace her, and some more lines about how I should embrace our intimacy. I told her that honestly I find it off-putting. I think that it's weird and borderline creepy. I told her that I'm very uncomfortable with hanging something up like that, and if she checked with me first, then I would have told her that. She asked if I truly wasn't going to hang it up, and I told her no, I will never consider putting that on my walls, but I appreciate the thought. She started crying, saying that I'm an ungrateful jerk, and she took the painting and said that she will hang it up at her place. She said that her friend's boyfriend loved the one that he got, so she can't see why I am being such a jerk about this. I don't think that I'm a jerk for not wanting an albeit artistic nude of my girlfriend on my walls. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
No, not the jerk. I mean, it's OP's house. He's entitled to put up what he wants in his place, and not everyone is comfortable having nudity on, display in their house. And so I understand that she put her time and energy into this gift, but at the end of the day, she didn't really think about what her partner would want. She tried to create something that fit her vision of what a good gift was instead of like consulting him and trying to find something that fit his vision. And so that's the risk you take when you do these kind of gifts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's the trouble here is that while I don't think that she was wrong for giving him the gift, I do think that she was wrong for pushing back so hard against the idea of him not wanting the gift, right? Gifts aren't something that you can force someone to accept, right? And he took the gift with a lot of graciousness too, right? It wasn't like she gave him the gift and he was like, "Ooh, gross, what are you doing giving me this thing," right? He just kind of took it and then hid it away in his room or in his closet because he didn't want to make a big fuss about it, right?
Well, we all get those gifts from time to time that someone gives us, whether thoughtful or not, and It's just, it doesn't work for one reason or another. But I do also feel like there's an extra layer here with the suggested, intimacy here going on that even complicates matters further, because some people are very private about their intimate lives and don't want that on display on their wall.
And I mean, I think that's really fair, right? Because this is something that he has made clear that he's not really comfortable with for a variety of reasons. One, I mean, his parents, and two, maybe he's a little insecure about these kinds of things. He's maybe a little bit insecure about nudity, and that's just something that not everyone's going to be comfortable with, and you can't force people to be comfortable with something like that.
Like, no matter how tastefully done, I don't see myself hanging something like this up on my wall. And I think it's fine to have those kind of, like, everyone has things they don't want in their home. Everyone has their different level of comfort about those kind of things.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Curl 8200 says, "Not the jerk. Art is subjective. I love art, but I wouldn't put up anything naked. She needs to chill out. Does she always overreact? Also, think about your future. If you all get married, she's going to want to decorate and put up who knows what." And OP replies, "Sometimes she can overreact, yeah." And All Kinds of Tired says, "Not the jerk. That's the kind of gift you only give someone if they're 100% into nude artwork and are comfortable with displays of intimacy. Plus, the length of your relationship comes into play here. I wouldn't want the butt of my girlfriend of 6 months on the wall, but a girlfriend of 2 years could be a very different story." And OP replies, "We've been together for almost 2 years. I still don't want her butt on my wall." And Educational Lab 154 says, "Was there a conversation about you putting it up in your bedroom where it's private and only seen by you and her?" And OP replies, "No, because I don't want it there." And Expensive Cloud 4253 says, I find it weird that she isn't against your parents seeing the art of her butt based on how you worded it in your post. And OP replies, she would expect me to defend it to them. Like say that I find it beautiful and sexy and that they need to respect our adult relationship. I mean, that's even a little far, right?
Oh yeah, that is, and like there may be people who feel like that, but that is a big ask of someone. And it's certainly understandable why he wouldn't want to have a conversation like that, especially when it sounds like that's not even something he genuinely feels.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he finds her beautiful, but...
Well, but like going off to his parents being like, you have to accept our intimate life, like having it so in your face.
Yeah. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk for Not Letting My Mother-in-Law Tell Our Kids That the Tooth Fairy is Real? I'm currently 20 weeks pregnant, so my husband and I have been having a lot of conversations about how we want to raise our child. One thing that we agreed on immediately is that we don't want to lie to our kids. So while we will 100% celebrate Christmas, Easter, losing teeth, etc., and make the event as wonderful and memorable as possible, we won't be telling them that Santa or large bunnies or tooth fairies will be breaking into our house to deliver gifts. Everything seemed great until his mother-in-law. She is a dental hygienist and is obsessed with her job. She absolutely loves the tooth fairy and even makes little doors for her kids' patients to put in their rooms to let the fairies come in. She wrote an unpublished book about the tooth fairy. Safe to say that she is extremely passionate about the tooth fairy. My husband and I were honestly thinking mostly about Christmas, and this potential conflict hadn't occurred to us until now. It's still important for us not to lie to our kids like that, but I know my mother-in-law is going to freak out. My husband will side with me when push comes to shove, but he is still starting to worry that it'll devastate her. Will I be the jerk if I stand my ground and I don't let mother-in-law tell our child about the tooth fairy? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, currently no one's in the wrong because nothing has happened. I think it is reasonable to not want to lie to your children, even in a fun way. I also think it's reasonable to have a lot of fun with these things. It sounds like mother-in-law has a great time, doing these things to make kids feel happy. And I think that's really sweet. But this is not her child to parent. And so I think OP and her husband are within their right to say, we do not want to pretend like the tooth fairy exists. We're not going to bring that into our household. And, maybe they can find some kind of compromise, because there are people who will explain to the kids, these things aren't real, but we can they'll still do gifts or whatever, so there could be some room for compromise where mother-in-law still gets to do something cute around the first teeth, but...
Well, and they haven't even talked to her yet, right? So they don't know necessarily how she's going to react to this. She might be perfectly fine with this, and they're worrying about nothing. So I think if they're really this concerned about the tooth fairy incident, then they need to go and talk to the mother-in-law and explain their reasoning and why they don't want to have the tooth fairy, right? Because I think it's good to give her a heads up about this well in advance, right?
Absolutely. That will give her time to, come to get to terms that she's not going to get to do with this sort of thing that maybe she's been looking forward to.
So, I like you said, I don't think that anyone's in the wrong here, and I think that it's fine to celebrate these things, and I think that the mother-in-law's passion towards, giving the kids something to be excited about is, admirable, but also I can understand why OP wouldn't feel comfortable lying to their kids, because it tends to be that these things are a little bit overplayed in society. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Meat and Potato says, yes, because you just tell the kid the truth when they ask, or even say that nobody knows for sure, or you could even say some folks aren't sure whether or not it's the parents that put the money under the pillows at night, with a smile and a wink. Be gone. You make it sound like you plan that you're going to sit the toddler down and have a talk about it. But am I correct that you are worrying at this point when you're 5 months pregnant? Good grief, let your mind get occupied with something else. The bun is still in the oven. I don't think that it's too early to start worrying to discuss this. Right?
No, and I think it's better to discuss it and come to common ground sooner than later.
And as for sitting down with the toddler and explaining it, that's not how it works, right? They just wouldn't ever start telling the kid these things.
Well, if like the kid like learns at daycare or something, like they hear other kids talking about Santa or the Tooth Fairy or something.
Yeah, and then they can explain it to them, right? Because at that point in time, they're going to be introduced to it, and they can say, well, some kids' parents do these things, and it's for fun. So, and it's a secret between the parents and the kids. So, don't ruin their fun or something like that, right?
I mean, a lot of parents have to do that anyway if they don't celebrate Christmas and, kid comes home talking about Santa Claus.
Yeah. And OP replies, haha, no, we won't sit them down. We will just tell the stories and say that they're fun stories for holiday. We won't end up telling them that Santa is truly coming to our house. We won't make a big deal about it not being true. It'll be like reading about dragons and unicorns. I totally understand why it seems early. My husband and I were both raised in abusive households and have been having a lot of conversations about how we plan to raise our children as we read books to prepare for their arrival. We're learning a lot about what we want to do, and maybe we're thinking too much ahead, but it feels like we have a lot of unlearning to do before they get here and want to be intentional. I mean, I guess this adds a little bit more information. If the mother-in-law is abusive, I mean, they didn't say specifically that the mother-in-law was. It could be the father was abusive, right? That's a difficult situation. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here. And Amber, she has a joke.
What do chickens serve at parties?
Chickens definitely don't serve chicken nuggets or chicken tenders at parties, but they probably serve hamburgers.
Coop cakes.
Coop cakes. That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, that's not too bad. I like my answer better.
I don't like your answer at all.
And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, spectacular Saturday, folks. I hope your Saturday is off to a spectacular start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, pretty please, have it on surprises, gifts, and pranks.
A prank that singles someone out is just bullying, and a gift is not an obligation.
Yeah, I think that works out really well. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!